Enough people see me life and want one.
I tell you, this is an appropriate song. Chronics, they don't know. They don't know. I tell you, man. And, you know, I was supposed to have an interview this morning with Alzheimer's Jamaica. You know, they do some pretty good work. And later on this evening, they're having a, what do you call it, a Circle Thrive Together life class. And the topic really grabbed me, from child to caregiver, the journey of parenting your parent. Now, isn't that amazing? From child to caregiver, the journey of parenting your parent. I'm advising you to log on to this one. It's hosted by Kamala McWinney, host and Jamaica National member, associate clinical psychologist. Now, the reason why this means so much to me is because, you know, I have a situation where I have a family member, but I know, you know, my mom has Alzheimer's. And from how it's worded here, from child to caregiver, right? I mean, you automatically become a caregiver, you know, if you're in that space. And even if you're not in that space with your parent, if you even live outside of that home, you still become a caregiver. And then it goes on to say the journey of parenting your parents. Now, can you imagine that, Owen? The journey of parenting your parents it's a moment that I would have never imagined. Is Sharon is on? It's the moment that I would have never ever imagined, you know, and it has come to the fore now. You know, a lot of times when you have situations where there are particular ailments, it's a Wellness Wednesday, and so it's very, very relevant. You figure, oh no, not my parent. Whether it's cancer, diabetes, whatever it is, you know, no, not my parent, not my mother, not my father. Sharon is also on, and she has also had. She knows my situation. She's very close. She's my co-producer, and has also had that situation as well with a family member in terms of Alzheimer's. Now, a lot of people, the heading is really dementia. That is the mother, and Alzheimer's falls under dementia, right? Because dementia has all kind of different areas in terms of how it can affect you. Sharon? Yeah, it has all kinds of areas where you can be affected by. So Alzheimer's is one of them. And so people just say, oh, you have Alzheimer's. Some people just say, oh, you just have a lack of memory. You don't have no, it surpasses that. It's not just about just losing your memory, you know. And I want to also say to my listener that you can have Alzheimer's at a tender age of 30 odd. It's not just an older people thing. No, you know, and you joke around, you know, sometimes when you don't remember stuff. And people, you know, laugh, and you might be looking for your glasses, and your glasses on your head. That happens to young people. You know what I'm saying? Or you don't remember a name, you don't remember situations. It doesn't necessarily have to be Alzheimer's. Of course not. But the point of the matter is that the signs, you have to look out for the signs early. Sharon, are you there? You have to look out for the signs early. And the point of the matter is that I did notice these things with my mother, but I didn't really see them as, you know, anything major, because as I said, people, you lose your memory all the time. You forget something. You forget a name, you forget a road. One thing I remember about my mother earlier, years ago, is that even if she forgot something, she wouldn't stop until she remembered it. She, you know, if she don't remember somebody's name or a friend's name also, you know, she wouldn't stop. And it put me in that thing too, because if I don't remember something, I don't stop until I remember what it is. So, okay, so you figure that Alzheimer's is about, you know, just a loss of memory. No way, it's not just that. So when you become, when you are parented by, you know, of course, your mother, your father, whomever, and in this case, my mother, and now the tables turn, and you now become the parent, because in a way, you know, as I said, my mom is 91 years old, and in a way, it's like you become a child again, right? It's like, yeah, it's basically, you know, like you become a child all over again as an adult. And that's kind of strange. That's kind of weird, you know, because my mom, professional nurse, professional head of the operating theater at the University of the West Indies, had her own business along with my dad, Miller Surgical Supplies, and very, very successful, brilliant. So, you know, you can't differentiate and say, well, boy, you know, oh, that doesn't happen to that person. That doesn't happen to that person. That cannot happen to that person. No. That's a no. It can happen to anyone. Now, it didn't happen to my dad. My dad transitioned, as you know. It didn't happen to him, unfortunately. But it's a very sad commentary. And the reason why I'm saying this is because what happens is if you have a caregiver that comes in, that's one thing, because there's not a real personal attachment as a caregiver. You just come to do your work. You come to do your work. You come to help to take care of the person or whatever. And my caregiver, though, one good thing is that her mom had Alzheimer's. She died now, so she has a better understanding of it. But it's a very, very sad commentary because the person is like, can I say retrogressed? It's a retrogression of the mind, and back to almost childhood, and so that's very difficult to deal with. And the doctors are saying that there's no cure, there's nothing you can take for it. Now, I am an original herbalist. I am, naturopathic medicine is what I am into. And so I always feel, and Dr. Cheryl Chung has always alluded to this too, that there are things that you can use. And the point of the matter is that anything that happens in your system, whether you're having diabetes, whether you're having cancer, whether you're having a heart issue, and if you're having a brain problem, remember, it starts with toxicity. These are my views. It starts with toxicity of a different organ. They might call it different names, but at the end of the day, it's an area where it has a toxic situation, but it's just given a different name. So what is very important is cleansing the system, cleaning out the system, drinking a lot of water, and keeping the mind active. You got to keep the mind active. Well, in other words, you got to read like my dad did, read a lot. You got to do the little crossword puzzle them, those things, because you remember as you get older, it's not necessarily a deterioration, but it's a slowing down. Not in all cases. As we recognize even Dr. Aris Latam, who's going to be, 76? And he's doing a juice fast now. And, he's climbing coconut trees at 70 odd. He's climbing coconut trees. Can you believe this? And it also depends on a lifestyle, how you eat, if you exercise, your thought patterns, because stress can bring on a lot of toxicity in your system. It might sound strange, but stress, he said, I look at that big something named stress. It's not normal. Stress is like the father and mother of a lot of sicknesses. We're talking about stroke, heart condition. Stress bring on them something. I might add that my mother had what? She had 3. My mother, listen to me now. She born me. And we always tease her and say, Mom, you're a real bull. Because she's so strong. She is so strong. She's been through a lot of ailments. Cancer of the breast. One thing that didn't hit her, she never had diabetes. But and she doesn't really have any major ailments right now, to tell you the truth. A little sleep disorder, and that's because of the Alzheimer's. Because Alzheimer's is a major situation. She doesn't have diabetes. She doesn't have a heart condition. She doesn't have, you understand what I'm saying? So what we need to do is do our own research on these things too. And not only the orthodox way, but the unorthodox way, they like to call it, the naturopathic way, because there's so many instances where persons have been, I don't know if you want to call it cured, but the situation has been alleviated because of naturopathic medicine. Just recently, on Sunday to be exact, and this is something that you must tap into, Health Talk Sundays. Sharon and Theo are also co-producers in terms of helping them get their guests. Dr. Donovan White was on, and the week before that we had Aris, we had Empress Adama, and the information they give you coming from a naturopathic perspective is amazing. It's just amazing the things you can learn out of knowing more about how you can deal with herbal medicines. And we're so blessed here in Jamaica. We have so many different herbs and fruits and vegetables. You understand? There's so many things that we can eat. And I was saying to someone on our meeting that we have nightly with Theo and Sharon and Just Eve, that what I have done, even with my mother during the pandemic. My mother, you remember saying, she aged. And that was a critical time for all of us during the pandemic. And despite the fact that she was, the Alzheimer's deteriorates, but at the end of the day, she never even got a cold. She never get, what you call it, chicken gun, what your name again? Is chicken gun your name, Owen? Chick V. She never got none of those things. She never got a cold. She never got a cough. Up to this day, she has never experienced any of those things. Never. And I'm saying this to say, it's what we have done. I mean, maybe we're late in terms of the Alzheimer's, because sometimes family members don't necessarily believe, that this is happening, but because I was there, I actually saw it manifested in front of me by certain things, certain things that were being said, certain things that were, doing of certain things. So that wasn't caught, but I think it could have been worse, because one thing I can say about my mom is that her mind's still sharp. So there are bouts of certain things. There are bouts of things that might happen that will put her in the frame of mind of being an Alzheimer's patient. But there are also other bouts where persons will come in and see her and they're like, well, you say your mother have Alzheimer's. She not Alzheimer's. All right, look how she's conversing with me. But this is what it is. It will go up and down and in and out. And I firmly believe it's because of how she eats. We give her a lot of fruits and vegetables, a lot of herb, and she loves her herb tea. She'll drink tea 8 times a day. She loves tea as a woman, went to school in England and lived in England for a while. She loves her tea. So I'm saying this to say, we need to be observant and we need to do our own research, because I can't tell you what to do. I just know what works for me and my family. But one thing I know, that it can't harm to deal with a holistic presence in your home in terms of how you eat, how you think, how you exercise. You got to keep active, you got to walk barefoot a lot on the soil, because that's grounding or earthing. That's a whole another perspective of healing. There's yoga, there's jogging, there's walking, there's weight training. There's so much you can do, but the key is, don't feel as you get old, everything I have to just put down and stop. You come to a standstill. No way. I can think about Theo, who's also one of our co-producers, Theo Chambers. He's 73. Correct, Sharon? 73. And he is a picture of health. The man on a belly. The man is active. Sometimes we're communicating at 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning about, different topics and different things that we discuss. And he is a picture of health. Thank God. So I'm just saying this to say that, listen, guys, you can give it a try. Give it a try. As I said, my mom has Alzheimer's, but she don't have no other ailment. She don't have no blood pressure, no nothing. She's fine. She went through, as I said, the whole COVID, the whole chick V, and nothing like that she not get. Give thanks and praise at 91. She does have Alzheimer's, and that is a thing that fluctuates. So, just be aware on this here Wellness Wednesday that, how you're thinking, how you're stressing, how you're going over certain things, and how you carry on and get agitated so easily. No, because these are the things that lead to stress and stroke. These are the things that lead to, you see, Owen can't get them sickness there. In the name of the Lord, he can't get them, because he's such a character full of calmness. And we're not going to say Owen have issues. Of course he have issues. We just don't know about them, because he just goes around and does what he has to do. So we have to keep our frame of mind in that particular space, because usually one thing can lead to another. You get a stroke, you get a heart attack, you get diabetes, you start taking a whole lot of pills, it deteriorates your kidney, you go up on dialysis. It's a sequence of things. You don't want to go that route. So I said, I just gave you a bit of my personal life. A lot of times you see me absent, and it's not because I want to be away from you guys. I love you so much. But a lot of times I have to stay home and be with my mom. Yeah, because she might be in that space where she just wants me there. And so I have to be there, But, it's not like it's purposely done. I'm out a palav. No, I just there, mommy sitting, as I like to call it. So later on, you can go on this Zoom link. It's on my page. You can go on it. Thrive Together live class at 6:30. And I'm going to put up also the Zoom link. And it's very important. Wellness live class right here on a Wellness Wednesday. A discussion about thriving together. From child to caregiver, the journey of parenting your parents, which is exactly what I'm doing right now. Kamala McWhinney, I had interviewed her last year around this time. She's a host, and she'll be hosting the program later on, associate clinical psychologist. All right?
Sister Queen,
Oh,
before
yes.
you go,
Yes, my dear.
Our dear friend Dr. Aris Latam would like to return next week, and he will touch on Alzheimer's if you request it.
All right.
He said the chief cause is starch and fat.
Starch and fat. This the chief cause of Alzheimer's.
Kinds of toxicity in the body.
Okay.
And also aluminum as well.
And aluminum. Oh, that's a good point before we go quickly. Aluminum pots. They have said that aluminum pots, the utensils in general, also can lead up to Alzheimer's. So make sure you check out your pots. Very important. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that.
Blessed love.
What was that?
Blessed love to you.
Okay, blessed love.
Can I give you the first stanza from Wordsworth's plays called poem, Tables Turned?
We're out of time, my dear. We're out of time. But please post it. Can you post it on the live? Is it something
yes,
you
I can?
Yes, please. Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Bless you.
Give thanks to everyone. Peace and love.
And Sharon and Theo also have had family members who have had Alzheimer's. Transition now. I think Sharon's uncle and Theo's father transition now, but also had experiences with Alzheimer's. All right. So thank you so much for listening to me babbling on about my mom. Love her dearly. Just love that she's still around. And she makes me laugh sometimes. She's feisty. Jeez, I mean, all of this, feisty bad. And I just laugh because she gave me a pure joke. So that's the joy of still having her around, really and truly. Love her dear. Love you, Mom. All right, so it's that time. We go right into Mecwi Talk with Arlene. Arlene is outstanding caregiver. I'm a caregiver. I'm the caregiver. Sorry. She's outstanding. What do you call it again? There's a name I always. Community worker coming out of Fletcher's Land. And so we'll go right to that program at this time. I'm going to take a quick pause for the calls. All right? Soon come.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard.